Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yes, yes, happy Sunday.
We made it. We made it. Hello,
We did.
everybody. Thanks so much
We
for
did.
joining. Thanks so much for joining. Happy
Yes,
Sunday. Um, Memorial Weekend.
it
Woo.
is. It doesn't feel, I don't know. Maybe it's the weather that's throwing me off that it doesn't feel, I'm ready for a cookout. And it don't feel like nobody's cookout weather.
I
Even
know.
though we would cook out in the rain. I mean, not in the rain, but like we don't really need a reason to cook out, but
Right,
it
right.
definitely don't
Yes.
feel like a holiday.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have a good show prepared for everyone. We're going to talk about different topics, so please stay tuned. We want to get your feedback, your input. It's very, very important. This is going to be a learning experience for all of us right now because there's a lot of things that's going on, a lot of things that are impacting all of our lives directly or indirectly. Someone you know that knows someone. There's a thing called 6 degrees of separation, and
Yes,
that's a true fact, right?
it is absolutely.
6 degrees of separation. First of all, we want to shout out to those who are celebrating a happy birthday. We are now in Gemini season.
We are in Gemini season.
Yeah, we are in Gemini season. So we're shouting out happy birthday to anyone who has a birthday.
Yes, yes, yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Join in, stick around. We have a very good show planned for each of you.
Yes.
Um, we're saying, how was your Sunday though, Shakira? How was your
It was
Sunday?
good. This week was my week to stay home with the kids.
Okay.
So my husband Jarvis got to get to go to church, and I stayed home with the little ones. Well, we made a lot of accomplishments this weekend, so I'm very very proud of my two little ones.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah,
Making
so we're
progress.
yes. So for anybody that don't know, I have a 4-year-old, I have a 2-year-old, and we have been working on potty training, and it is not the easiest. For some people, it comes easy. For some, it doesn't. But I will say we
Potty
are
training.
making major strides, so I'm very very excited about
Potty
that.
training is very complex for toddlers.
Yeah, because some people get it. They be like, "Yeah, my baby been trained since 12 months. Like I've been sitting them on the potty at 12 months."
Yeah.
I'm like, with the loose neck. I mean, they now have a loose neck at that age, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but for me, you just got to do what's best for you. Don't feel ashamed, or anything
Right.
like that. Because sometimes people will kind of shame you a little bit, make you feel bad about it. But I
Yeah.
don't at all.
Don't feel shame. No,
Mm-mm,
absolutely.
no.
Some people it takes longer than others.
Yeah,
Some may take
absolutely.
till 5 years old, 7 years old,
Yes.
however long
Yes.
it takes, long as they get it, right?
As long as they get it. Yes.
Long
Hi,
as they get it.
Rita.
Hey, Rita, thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for joining
Yes.
us, Walter, Joy, Tyrese. Enlarge my territory. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Please stick around. We have a very great show, some enlightening information that's going to help you as you go through your journey in life, right?
Yes. I do have
One of,
I have one comment from TikTok, because I got my TikTok over here too. Drew said
yeah,
absolutely every child is unique in their own way, so it comes differently for everyone.
that's so true.
Absolutely. So true.
That's so true.
So
That's so
true.
true. And it's
Yes.
good to kind of collaborate and network with other parents because they
Hmm.
may have a unique way to potty train,
Yes.
but they can
Yes.
kind of give you some pointers,
Yes, absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it's always important to kind of share your experiences. That's what life's
Yes.
about. And I think
Yes.
that's what social media allows us to be able to share our experiences with each other. Don't
Yes.
be a gatekeeper. Don't be a gatekeeper. We want to send a special condolences and prayers to the Deloach and Sims family, which
Yes.
is our family.
Yes.
We
Yes.
lost Keith Peanut. We call him Peanut
Yes.
Deloach.
I never knew
Nephew.
his real name. And that I feel so bad. I never knew Peanut's real name. I always just call him Cousin Peanut. I never knew his real name.
Yeah,
I
yeah. A lot
never
of people,
knew.
we have nicknames, right? And people who
Yeah.
have nicknames, people don't be knowing. the real name. Like people in the
Yeah.
family, they knew Sunshine. They was like, when we called her Adrian, they was like, well, who's
Yeah.
Adrian?
Yeah, exactly.
They only
Exactly.
knew her by Sunshine. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that's very common. But yeah,
Yeah.
we lost him suddenly, unexpectedly,
Yeah.
sadly. And we will be laying him to rest soon. Praying for my nieces, both Katrina and Daisha, and his
Yes.
children as well.
Yes.
And those who knew him knew he was one of a kind. He was very unique in all
Yes.
the things he did. He was very unique, a very unique young man, very popular in our hometown, and also just an all around good person. You know, he was a barber, that was his specialty. So a lot
Yes.
of people knew him from cutting hair.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to miss him. I'm just going to
Yeah.
miss knowing that he's no longer, he's here with us in spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's here with us in spirit. We
Yes.
want to send our condolences, um, as I said, to the Deloach families. We also want to send some prayers out to Michael McNeil and D'Amica. We still got you on our radar.
Yes.
Michael, we still got you on our radar, bruh. So please continue to thrive and get well. Now,
Yes.
as we dive into this podcast, we are on Mama Said It podcast. For those of you who don't know, this is Mama Said It podcast with me and my daughter. Her name is Shakira Pittman, and my name is Dr. Regina Ross. Many people just call me Gigi, which is fine. One of the things I want to talk about is the signs of having a heart attack before the pain hits, what to do when a heart attack is coming. See, a lot of people don't know what some of the symptoms are. And then the other part to it is a lot of people don't know what to do if that was to happen even to themselves or to a loved one. You know, um, do you know what to do if someone around you had a heart attack?
I know certain signs, but I don't know all the signs. So I'm very intrigued to know what those signs are. I know that for me, one thing that I did want to learn was the signs of somebody sugar dropping, because what I experienced with daddy.
Okay,
So those are, but it's very important to know the signs. Very, very important.
very important to know the signs. Absolutely. Because I know that there are some um, places where you can actually get the proper training. But let's tune in to one of the physicians who is going to give us some pointers of what to do if we ever came
Every
across
40
someone who
seconds,
had a heart
someone
attack.
in the U.S. suffers a heart attack. Here's what you can do to help if you suspect someone is having a heart attack. How do you know if someone is having a heart attack? Most heart attacks in both men and women usually include symptoms like chest pain or pressure, shortness of breath with usual activities, sweating at rest, feeling weak or lightheaded, or experiencing pain in the neck, back, jaw, arms, or shoulders. And for women, these symptoms could also include nausea or abdominal pain and cramping. If you do suspect a heart attack, call 911 immediately. In the meantime, emergency medication can do a lot to reduce damage to the heart. Unless a person is allergic, chewing and swallowing an aspirin immediately thins the blood, which can potentially save someone's life. If there's someone who already has a documented heart condition and a prescription for nitroglycerin, these medications should be taken immediately. While you await the arrival of the ambulance, if a person is not breathing or has no pulse, perform CPR chest compressions at a rate of at least 100 per minute to keep the blood flowing to the brain and vital organs. If an AED, an automated external defibrillator, is immediately available, follow instructions to use the device as soon as possible. Many heart attacks are very recognizable from their symptoms, but in fact, nearly half of people who have had a heart attack don't realize it at the time. These simple steps can help to reduce damage to the heart and may even save a life. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. DeMarcus Bayman. For more emergency care videos, click here and don't
There you have it.
Wow.
Important
That's
information.
yeah, it's very, very important because it's you know knowing the signs and what to look for can
Yeah,
help somebody and save somebody's life instead of
sure.
asking all these questions. If you know like the sequence of certain things, then you
Right.
kind of can piece things together to say, okay, well maybe they need more assistance, and maybe we need to call the ambulance. Yeah.
Right. And see, a lot of times, I know for me, suffering from anxiety attacks, I get it confused because when I used to get anxiety attacks years ago, when he first was coming on, I would always run to the emergency room because I thought it was a heart attack. And
Yeah.
then I realized it was an anxiety attack, which felt like a heart attack because your heart is racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not so much of the tightness of the chest, but
Yeah.
it does give you this uncomfortable feeling where you're feeling as though something's wrong and you need medical treatment.
Yeah.
So, yes, by all means, I mean, right now with so much going on, subconsciously, we're not aware that a lot of the things that's going on with the economy, with the executive orders, a lot of things that's going on with administration is directly affecting a lot of our lives
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
really don't know what to expect from one day to the next.
Yeah.
Hoping that things is going to turn out, but the way things are looking, it doesn't look too good for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into more of that, of what to do and how we can prepare more as we move forward with this economy. But
Yes.
yes, Rita, thank you so much for joining. And Linda, thanks so much for joining. We're
Yes.
hoping that the information that we're sharing today is going to be enlightful and an educational moment where we all can share and have a moment where we are knowing more of what to do for ourselves and loved ones who are around us. Hey,
Yeah.
cuz, thanks so much for joining.
Because oh, so my cousin, dude, okay, he said, "Don't feel bad, cuz I was drunk the other night and pissed on myself." Well, to bed, LOL. Listen,
It was
I
drunk.
can't.
Cuz, excuse me, we got to have you back on because you was too much fun.
Too funny.
He
Um,
said he pissed on himself the other night. Oh my goodness. You must was having a good time, cuz.
a good time. Hey Aunt
Oh my
Di, hey
goodness. Hey
Jasmine.
Dottie, thanks so much for joining, sis.
Yes,
Jasmine, thank y'all so much for joining. If y'all don't mind sharing our information, just share it on your page. It costs you nothing. It's free. The information that we're going to be sharing this evening may change someone's life. May
absolutely.
change someone's life. So you might be that connection that a person needs to change someone's life.
Yes, I do
Um,
have a comment. Drew says, absolutely for me as a first responder, the biggest thing is I remember no one knew how to initiate. Um, when in return,
mm,
cause that person to lose their life because they didn't
wow.
know the signs. That's what I'm assuming what you're saying, Drew. They didn't know the signs, so they didn't know how to, to actually initiate help because they just looking at them like, what is going on? Are you all right?
Right. Yeah,
So
that's something that Drew's bringing that up. Great point,
yeah.
because I was looking at a video the other day, and it was a pastor that passed out. And it was almost, it felt like maybe 20, 30 seconds went by before anyone actually got up. And he was actually on the floor.
So what they thought?
Um,
Well, I guess maybe they maybe they thought he was
off the
moved.
Holy Ghost.
Yeah, in the spirit. I need
Yes.
somebody. Yeah. If you've been on the floor for a couple seconds, I'm gonna need somebody to go check them. But you know what?
Yes.
I also notice in churches. I mean, not every church, but there's not a lot of ushers like they used to be back in the day.
Yeah, the
Back
ushers
in
used
the
to be
day,
nurses.
yeah, they used to be behind you, catching you if you fall. They like so it's a little bit different than because
Oh,
a usher would have caught that. Like, let me go
well, he
run
was
on
up
up.
at the pulpit, so she might not have been able to reach
Well,
to
yeah,
catch the pastor, but you definitely they moved. It seemed as though they moved a lot faster years ago than what they be
yeah,
doing nowadays.
yeah,
And these are the things that they need to be trained on. Churches need to be trained on what to do
absolutely,
when they see certain signs.
yeah,
Because things do happen when you're in church service. It's happening just as much as if you are at home.
absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh Lord, here we go, dude. Dude, dude said, I gotta know the heart attack signs when I pop my Viagra for these young girls. I can't with my cousin. I just
Taking
can't.
Viagra.
I
But listen, Viagra has been popular
well, please be
for a
careful.
long time, and it still
Okay.
is. And I think the younger They're 30 years old, popping.
Mm.
20 years old. I'm like, what y'all need it for? That's
Please
what
be careful.
you're 60 years old, maybe 20,
Yeah.
30 years old. Maybe it's the stamina. Maybe it's to hear that the length
I
of
don't.
time. Maybe
I
that
don't.
has something to do with it. Because I can't figure out why they need it.
Oh no. Drew said, that's true. A lot of congregations are not trained in first aid or CPR unless they have a team. And he said also, absolutely, or at least the wife of that pastor. Yeah, somebody should have been like, hey,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
wild.
Now, speaking of heart attacks and hospitals, I don't know whether you heard about a nurse in Florida decided to pull the plug on her mom. Did you hear about that
Mm-mm.
in Florida?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she decided to pull the plug on her mom. And once y'all see, I'm going to show you this video, but after I show you this video, I want to get I want to get our co-host opinion. This is a learning moment for all of us because when you have loved ones who are sick, nobody wants to see your loved ones suffer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really know the whole story as to what she was feeling like
Mm-hmm.
and what made her take the position of pulling the plug on her mom.
Wow.
Um, so just stay tuned.
Is accused of pulling the plug on her own mother who was on life support. It happened at North Shore Medical Center in Northwest Miami-Dade.
NBC6 reporter Amanda Placencia has more on what happened by the victim's hospital bedside.
While police say that this nurse tried to take matters into her own hands to stop her mother's suffering, the act got her arrested. Juancette Green has been a licensed nurse in Florida for over 20 years, but now she's out of the hospital and in jail. The 54-year-old is accused of killing her own mother who was on life support.
In this case, Ms. Green, you've been charged with felony of the first degree manslaughter and aggravated elderly disabled adult.
According to the arrest report, it all started on May 5th when Green's mother was admitted to North Shore Medical Center with shortness of breath. Her health quickly started to deteriorate, and she was eventually transferred to the ICU where she was intubated. Then last Friday, Green went to the hospital with her son and daughter. While in the room, she allegedly said, quote, "I'm pulling out," and then removed the intubation that was keeping her mother alive. An alarm went off and then medical teams rushed in to try to resuscitate the victim. Police say Green kept telling the staff to stop and that she wanted her mom to go in peace. Her mother died a short time later. Green left the hospital before police arrived but was later arrested at her home for the act. She appeared in front of a judge on Monday.
Court finds probable cause in this case.
A spokesperson for the Healthcare Systems of America says the nurse is not an employee at North Shore Medical Center. A previous version of the story named the wrong hospital group. Healthcare Systems of America says they are working with authorities during this investigation. Green remains in jail where she is being held without bond. She will appear in front of a judge again next Monday. Reporting in Northwest Miami-Dade.
There you have it. That's
that's
hard
wild.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could never do it. I could never
absolutely
pull
not.
the plug on nobody. I don't have it in me.
But it's just,
You know?
I thought the way that it was, I thought it was like she got arrested because she pulled the plug legally. She just out here pulling out plugs. I thought it
She's
was like
a nurse,
figuratively speaking.
yeah, she's a nurse, 20 years, I believe. Obviously she's inside knowing a lot of information that we probably don't have privilege to. Nurses, if there's some nurses that are viewing and part of our co-hosts, they may be able to chime in, but I don't know too many people that will take her position. However, she wanted her mother to rest in peace and then she didn't want her to suffer. Now, could the hospital may be prolonging her life to keep her organs to donate? I mean, I don't know what the reasons.
Yeah, because
why
I
she
mean,
did
I
that.
would imagine if she was on life support, I mean, I don't know. I never been through that experience. So I don't know how long they give the family to make that type of call once
Yeah.
the person is put on life support. So why didn't she just go the legal way? I don't.
She took
That's the part that's kind of baffling to me. That's the only thing that's it's kind of throwing me for a loop.
Right, exactly. Well, one thing that I want to do, I want to ask our co-hosts what they think. I want to get their opinion.
So, upload a nurse.
Yes, I want to get their
Okay.
opinion as to what they think about what has happened. Now, a nurse in Florida decided to pull the plug on her mom, just in case you're just now tuning in,
Mhm.
so she can rest in peace. Now, A, she took the matters in her own hands, or B, she was within her rights as her daughter. C, face jail time for unaliving her mother. D, she should be free and keep her nursing license. Or E, other. I want to know from our co-hosts, what do they feel should happen? And if you were in the same position, do you have the strength within to unalive someone without authority? Because in essence, it is considered murder.
Manslaughter. Manslaughter. I think that's what they were saying there.
Yeah, manslaughter, which is still
Yeah.
under the heading of, yes,
So
absolutely.
I do have some comments. Drew said, I think there's a way to do everything. I think maybe her actions were not the way to do it. But hold up, because TikTok don't let you put that much in one thing. I think it should have been consulted with the doctors as well with her family, and it shouldn't have been scheduled. It should have been scheduled properly. I think it was just out of order how she did it. But when it comes to that, decisions should be done through praying, fasting, and decisions with the entire family if possible. So he's saying E for other. I'm pulling the.
Other.
He said I'm pulling the plug on everybody now. True now, but he
What?
put
Pulling the plug on that? Really?
he put the laughing. So I don't know if he's being funny.
Oh
I
my
think
goodness.
I
Oh
think it
man.
depends on the circumstance though, because you don't want to see your loved one suffer if you know that
Right.
there's, if you've prayed and God has said, listen, because sometimes people be on there and they literally just be living through the machine.
True. That's
Um,
true.
there, but of course you do see instances when they take them off the machine. They've been on the machine for a long time, and they're able to breathe. They're able to do certain things. So the miraculous, will of God and the testament of how good God is, anything's possible. But I think when you're faced with those type of things, and like, what about the insurance? Like, wasn't insurance pressuring them? Because sometimes they be like, listen, you ain't got no more insurance. Insurance is running out, so you got to
Right.
make a decision. So
Right.
I mean,
Well, Mike make a good point on the insurance. He says,
that insurance bill was becoming too darn much every darn day. Yeah, exactly. And
right,
daily.
right.
Daily.
And maybe that's, but if she had insurance, she wasn't, the insurance company was making the payments. I mean, it depends on what kind of insurance she
Yeah,
had,
depending on what
whether
type of
they were,
insurance you got.
right, right.
You still may be getting the bill in there. They may
Sure.
cover a certain part, but not the
But
whole
that's your
thing.
mom though. I mean, your mom, I don't know. That's a tough one there.
It's very tough, but I think it all depends on the circumstances. I mean, I think it's depend on the circumstances. Jasmine said her being a nurse isn't a factor. Anyone who pulls the plug on someone outside of having the authority to do so will face jail time.
I'm with you, Jasmine, 100%.
And
Total.
she also
Total.
said even though it wasn't technically her patient, she probably lost her license. Same as if a police officer breaks the law off duty, he could still lose his title. Absolutely. I don't think
Yep.
she should probably still be a nurse if you're making those type of calls.
That's kind of
Um,
scary.
yeah. But
And no telling what she was thinking either. So
yeah, you
that's
don't know if her mom was if she was on life support, you don't know what her mom had talked to her before she went on life support, people have conversations like, listen, if I ever get to a point where I'm a vegetable, pull it. I don't
right,
care
but then
what they talking about.
that's when you need to have a living will. You
But
know what I mean?
most people
Healthcare.
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
we both
Well,
both know a lot of people that don't have wills. They barely got insurance
that's true.
to cover themselves. So if they don't even have insurance, I'm pretty sure they would not have a will.
Right.
9 times out of 10. So we don't know what the conversations are between a mom and a daughter. And because some people, like, I know for my dad, he didn't want to he didn't necessarily say pull it, but he's like, I don't want to be around if I'm in vegetable state. Like I
Yeah,
don't. That's not
no,
a life that I want to live. So
absolutely
do
not.
you hold on to him just for the sake of them
Don't pull
being
no
alive?
plug on me though. Don't pull no
No,
plug because I
I
might
know
go
you.
come back.
I know you want to ride the wheel to the wheel fall
I
off.
want to
I know
ride.
you. I'm saying my dad. I'm saying in my dad's sense and what the health issues he was facing at the time. Even though he passed on dialysis, I know that if he had got to that state and I had to
Right.
make a decision, if there was no sign, I would give it time. I wouldn't be like, okay, it's been a week. I would definitely give it time. I would pray on it. I would ask God to lead me. But I know that's not something Daddy wanted to go through.
No,
You
absolutely
know.
not.
So
Yeah,
Jasmine said it doesn't matter if she talked to her about it. If it's not on paper, it doesn't exist.
that's true.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with
true.
the actual legal part of it. I'm just saying as far as we don't know
Yeah.
everything that could have transpired.
Our
Um
condolences to the family and what she's going through and what she could be thinking. And I mean, and sometimes people do things in haste where they're not really thinking, they just do it.
yeah, yeah,
And we
yeah.
don't know whether that was her situation, but it had
Yeah,
to be something that was going through her mind for her to take such
yeah.
a drastic decision. And now
Yeah.
to have spent so many years in the medical field to now be losing all her pension, possibly,
Oh,
in her
yes.
license.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
that's
sad.
that's horrifying. It's
Yeah.
horrifying to even think. I forgot there was a doctor years ago, and I'm talking about maybe over 20 years ago. He used to do this for a living, go around to different patients, and they
They
would
made a
come to him.
movie about that or a
Yeah,
TV series about that,
I
if I'm
forgot
not
his name.
mistaken.
Yeah, he was a physician. He lost
Yeah.
his license and everything, but he
Yeah.
believed that people had the right to go in peace and not suffer.
Yeah, on their own terms, and they would sign paperwork. Well, on the movie, I mean, the docu series. It was either a movie docu series or some
It
type of.
was.
It was something, and he would make them sign paperwork, and they would choose how they want to go if they want to, you know,
Yep.
different ways, not torture or anything like that, but just different
No.
methods that he practiced, and
Yeah.
they would make that decision. So,
And he
uh,
did that for years.
yeah,
He did that for years. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Mercy. Yeah.
Alive,
Yep.
and yeah,
Yep.
we got you.
True. That's what it's called.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very interesting. Very
It is.
interesting. I don't know whether you are aware of this, whereby they are hospitals and nursing homes are closing. There's a lot of them are closing. Just in 2025, there were 5 that closed in 2025. And some of them were even
Yeah, I
local
remember
prisons, one in
seeing.
Philadelphia near Chester, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I remember seeing that all over the news. And they were
Yeah,
fighting so hard to keep it open. But it's just like, what happened to all them patients and where are they about to go?
they probably got transferred to a hospital that was able to service them,
Yeah.
to another location.
Yeah.
Now, there are approximately 4 hospitals here in New Jersey. The state
Mm.
comptroller announced that the owners were faced with 4 skilled nursing facilities. They will be suspended for New Jersey Medicaid effective May 7th. So all
Wow.
those patients that was in those nursing facilities that was paying by Medicaid had to probably be transported to another facility to
Oh, wow.
accommodate their financial ability to pay, which is
And
alarming.
what is the point? It's a lot going on these days. And
It's a lot.
it's
But
unfortunate.
let me just say this before I show this video. In 2025, no, I'm sorry, it was 10 thus far that closed in
Okay.
2025. But in
Hmm.
2024, because I don't want y'all to be saying, oh, it's Donald Trump. In 2024, 25 hospitals closed.
Oh, wow.
In
Okay.
2023, 8 hospitals closed. But to see the number enlarged into 700, that's
Yeah.
because if they should cut Social Security, then there will be more hospitals closing because a lot of hospitals depend on Medicare as a way
Yeah.
of payment.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Wow.
mean? So that is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
But what do? We have to keep pushing. We have to keep moving forward and hope for the best. Let me show this quick video of this hospital who closed recently.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
A roaring show of support rolling up to Crozer-Chester Medical Center. Community members sharing pizzas and kind words with the healthcare workers there as they work some of their final shifts at the Delaware County Hospital.
It's a very hard day.
Laura Lambert's last day working here after 37 years.
Everybody is devastated, all of us, the community, all the staff, just devastated.
A bankruptcy judge approved Prospect Medical Holdings' plan to close the Crozer Health System, including its 2 Delaware County hospitals. Taylor Hospital in Ridley Park is fully closed as of Saturday morning. Crozer-Chester Medical Center's ER is expected to close Wednesday, with the hospital shutting down Friday. Prospect saying earlier this week its focus was on transitioning patients to other facilities. Workers tell us a few dozen patients are still being treated here.
We're providing the best of the care that we always have, and it's just sadder than it usually is. It's a lot sadder.
Which is why motorcycle organization Stars and Stripes Bars and Pipes organized this.
Thank you so much.
Showing them that we care and we support them.
The group also made a stop in Ridley Park. Even though Taylor Hospital is now closed, there is an EMS crew there, just in case anyone shows up and needs to be transferred to an area hospital. Once Crozer-Chester Medical Center closes Friday, the county says an EMS crew will be here too, doing the same.
It's going to be very apparent that we need more health care in Delaware County.
Concern with one shuttered hospital, a second closure coming in Delaware County.
There you have it.
That's really sad.
Yeah,
it's really
and
sad.
to think that 700, I can't even imagine 700. When I read that, I'm like, 700 hospitals are at risk of closing.
Yeah,
that is
a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Jobs, a lot of patients. I can't even imagine.
Yes.
Now you're going to risk the already strained health care system to be even worse.
Correct.
In a lack of better words, because I know firsthand from my experience with facilities, they're short staffed.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure on them, so that's why you want to be kind. Don't call during the shift change. Don't call at night, late at night, expecting that you're going to get this long laundry list of information when they got 20 patients to one person. But I just can't even imagine what it's going to look like now.
It's changing.
Yeah.
It's changing. It seems like the people at the bottom are going to be the ones that's suffering while the people at the top is going to be celebrating. I know that sounds kind of bizarre, but that's the way it appears.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way it appears. Now, I know we talked about this last week in June, which is approaching in the next few days. This the countdown, 500,000, over 500,000 seniors, which is over 2 million, but they're doing them in, I guess, phases of seniors to lose some benefits. You want to know, are you affected? Let me tell you whether you're affected. Now, if you owe any student loans, you are affected. You may be one of the ones that only if you're collecting Social Security, that they will be garnishing your earnings. It's not even earnings. They will be garnishing your Social Security income down to $750. It can't go lower than $750. So reassure that. But the only problem with that, if your rent is $750 and you only get one check and you're down to $750, that means you're going to be relying on family and friends and some local facilities to be able to help.
And that's if you have any family and friends and all of those things.
That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. One of the things I want to take a moment right now. Well, I think I'll wait for this. I don't know whether you remember when President Donald Trump said, "I have nothing to do with Project 2025." Do you remember that?
Yes, we all remember that.
Okay. I just in case for those that don't remember, I just want to play this. so that we can kind of fresh your memory. Can we do that for just a second?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created.
Okay, so there we have it. So now, the reason why I brought this up, because I want to be able to share some information to you about Project 2025. For those of you who may not be aware, as where is Project 25 pending right now? What is going on with Project 2025, right? So I just want to show, let me just go here. I just want to show you exactly where we are with Project. Oh my goodness, this is going to be alarming, but also I think for most of us, we're ready to understand exactly what we're up against, right? And I'm trying to get to. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just trying to pull up Project 2025. Just 1 minute. Okay. So I'm going to show my screen, and let me know if you can hear me. Let me know, co-host, if you can hear me. I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, and if you can see the screen. Can you see the screen right now?
Well, the screen is, I can see it, but it's small. Like, it's not legible to the fullest extent. Like, I see overall progress, stuff like that. But once it gets to the smaller parts, it's kind of
okay. It's kind of all right. So this, if you go to Project, and Shakira, type this in, Project 2025 dot observer. So Project PROJECT 2025 dot observer. OBSERVER. So what you're seeing on this screen.
I'm sorry. You said Project 2025 dot absorber. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the website.
Okay.
So this is actually a tracker of what's going on with Project 2025. So if you go to Project 2025.observer, it's going to tell you exactly where they are. Now, right now, it's telling you how many days they have left. 1,335 days that are left, 18 hours, 14 minutes, and 31 seconds. It's also telling us that they have accomplished 98 of the 313 projects from Project 25. So 98 have already been done, and it hasn't even been 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they have 66 that are in progress right now. Now, what I want to do right now, I know President Trump said he didn't know what was in Project 25, right? So I'm just going to point out a few things that is connected to Project Observer to let you know that they are going according to this Project 2025. They're going, it's like a guidebook. It's like their guide, and they're going step by step. And each one has a deadline, dates that they need to have it accomplished by, and they are making it happen. Do you hear what I'm saying? I give you an example. Here is one. We talked about this, I think it was last week on our podcast. USDA restrict the low income heat and energy assistant program, LIHEAP. Okay, that was done. That was
Mm-hmm.
completed April the 1st, 2025. That was a part of Project 2025, and it
Mm-hmm.
was done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's just one. But all of these that are listed is showing you all of the accomplishments that they've made in the last, since January 20th.
Mm-hmm.
January 20th. Okay, and it also is going to give you information on what's remaining, what's still remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Here is another one. CDC, in data collection on gender identity. That was completed in February 2026. February 26th of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking. Because sometimes when you hear of all these executive orders, I mean, it was so many executive orders. I first in the beginning, when he was signing executive orders, I was keeping up. But then it became so many, I was
Yeah.
losing track.
Yeah.
Because when you have to work and you have to do other things, and he's signing executive orders, and then you hear about an executive order was signed, it's impossible to try to keep up with all of it
Yeah.
unless you had this, unless you were doing this full time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's one. January 31st, 2025. They finished this. Prohibit abortion travel funding. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and for to say that he had nothing to do with Project 2025, or is this a coincidence?
That's what he may say. That is all a big coincidence, and this is fake news. What we're looking at.
Yes. Now
I don't.
these are the ones that haven't started yet. So it's going to tell you what has not even started. So you can go to the very top. There's a drop down, and you can drop down and it'll tell you what's in progress, what's completed, and what haven't even started.
Okay.
Okay. And if you want to know the different subjects, whether it's childcare, civil rights, criminal justice, cybersecurity, defense, DEIA, it can separate it by the category, and you can also separate it by the agency.
Okay.
Okay. You can separate it by the agency. Department of Treasury. Let me see. Just for the heck of it. Let's see.
Childcare. Oh, I'm sorry.
Department of Treasury. Let me see.
Oh, that would be us.
That would be us. Let me see. I just want to see what is this showing. Okay. It should be able to tell us something. Okay, so these are not started. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that's not started.
Wow.
Eliminate the U.S. Trade and Development Agency. Wow. Cease funding to withdraw from the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. Wow. Isn't that something? Eliminate the Climate Hub Office. These are little satellite offices that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to eliminate all of those. They're going to reduce the estate and gift tax. Whoa, I wonder what's that going to look like. Wow. Now, the other thing they're planning to do have not been done yet. They're going to limit employee benefits by setting a cap on untaxed benefits that employers can claim as deductions. Ooh, child. So there you have it. So just keep that in mind as you are moving along.
Mm-hmm.
It's alarming, right?
It is. It's a lot. It's a lot
It's a
to
lot to
take
take
in.
in. A
Yes.
lot to take
The
in.
process.
I'm going to definitely be posting a lot of the things about our seniors that have taken place and what is planning to take place in the next few months ahead. Um, from my understanding and what I've been reading, it's coming from some sources that are within the White House that are stating that they're moving more aggressive than they have before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so do we have any comments that we need to?
Just confirming that they can hear.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Good. Okay. So the next thing, we're going to jump on this. Now, I might not be pronouncing the name correctly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's called Shush Act Explained. SHUSH. The push to silence the red tape. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, what the heck are you talking about, Mom? What
Yeah,
does this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the Shush Act wants to change and aim to eliminate the tax cut through the long, complicated process. Now, this is what's called the silencer that they put on the GUN.
What's the GUN? Oh, oh. I wish I had a little oh, never mind. Don't mind me. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what they want to do, they want to there's a bill. In the bill, the good bill that they said, the great, wonderful bill that they announced a few days ago, now have to go in front of the Senate to be actually passed, which has so much in it. And we'll break that down. I know our time is, we're running down on time. But this bill, stating that it makes too much noise when they get ready to shoot the GUN. So they want to have a silencer to make it easier, so it will cut down the noise.
Wait,
now, yeah, but let me just say this, and I know some of you may not even be aware of this, and I want to share this with you. There are a lot of states that have this already legalized. Did you know that?
In some states, I guess those are states I don't want to visit.
Correct. There are some states. Now, the states there's 42 states where it's legal. That's 42.
Wow.
Now, the states where they are illegal, it's California, Delaware, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Illinois, Massachusetts, Great Old New Jersey, New York, and Rhode Island. Now, if I didn't mention those states, those other states, it's already legal. Now, I'm trying to figure out, people who are GUN carriers, owners, right? What sense would it make for someone to have a silencer?
That don't sound like they
when you go,
they don't want to be heard. It's what I take from that. I don't think it got nothing to do with what they trying to make that is. Listen.
And then they're talking about they don't want to pay the $200 tax that's been effective since 1934. So they want to eliminate this tax.
And what's the tax?
Well, that if you purchase a suppressor, if you purchase one, you have to pay the tax on it.
Oh, okay,
so they don't want to pay the tax anymore. They want to get rid of the tax where you could just go and buy it and there's no tax. Okay.
Yeah.
So I for the life of me, I don't get that part, even though I know that there's 42 states right now where it's legal to go in and purchase it. It's legal.
Wow.
That means 8 states it's illegal. In New Jersey and New York and Rhode Island on the East Coast is one of them.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know whether any of our audience go to the range, they shoot out, they do anything like that, participate, or they're part of the Rifle Association or the Gun Association, which I'm a part of. But there's a lot of different things that go on. You can agree to disagree. But having this as a part of the bill is like not making too much sense.
It makes sense to them. They just ain't gonna tell us why. They ain't gonna tell us the real reason why they want it on there.
Well, the reasons, these are the things of which they're saying. They're saying that the noise, that was one of their biggest, the hearing protection. They want to be able to protect their ears, and they're saying the plugs is not good enough. And then they want to simplify the process of how you go about making the purchase. And they want to reduce the financial burden, of course, of that $200 tax, making the suppressor more affordable. And they want to also change the Second Amendment advisory because they feel as though it's outdated. Now, they also stated that widespread use, low crime link suppressors are already legal in many states, which that's true. And they also have low instances of crime in those states where they're already legal. So they don't feel as though it's a big deal. Now, for the con part is public safety concerns.
Yeah,
of
course.
Now, a lot of people didn't even know that it was even illegal. It was legal.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, unless you were a gun owner or you went to the range or you were into, that type of lifestyle, a lot of people had no idea. But law enforcement challenges also. I mean, if you get stopped by the police, and the law enforcement are going to have a concern because it's going to be hard for them to detect who shot who or where.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a lack of background check.
Well, that's a big one. That's what they need to be making the bill on, is the background checks.
Yeah. And then the misuse, putting it in the wrong arms, the wrong hands, rather,
Now, I do have a question. When you get a background check, right? If they do just so happen to do it, do they continuously background check you, or is it just a one and done? You could have been on a straight and narrow when you were young.
One and done unless you do a crime.
Unless you do a crime and get caught. Okay. But as far as your mental stability or anything like that, that's not under evaluation on a regular basis if you are an owner.
Nope. I didn't. I mean, you got to understand, when I first got my permit, it was in the 80s. As soon as I turned 18 years old. So back then it was just an application.
Yeah.
And you pay the fee, fingerprinting, background check, wait for the application to come back, whether it's approved or denied. If it's approved, of course you get it. If it's not, then of course you don't get it.
Yeah.
But I always say, for those who was granted the approval, to take a class. Don't just get the permit, the license to carry, or to even have it, whether it's for a business or for other use. Take the class, take the proper class to make sure that you understand how powerful the weapon that you have in your possession. Because oftentimes, a lot of times, people they're not educated. They buy it and don't even know how to use it.
Yeah. Exactly.
They put it away and don't know how to use it. That's not the way you do it. When you get a GUN, you want to definitely take the course, take the class, sign up. They're having so many classes around now. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, especially when you have children.
Absolutely.
When you have children, you definitely want to be careful, because when you were younger, back then, I kept it out of your possession. I mean, it was just my duty, my responsibility. But of course, the teacher that taught me how to handle it was in the military.
Okay.
And he was a fantastic teacher. Okay. Yes. All right. So as we move on, I just want to, I know we only got a few more minutes before our time is up, but I know it's Memorial Day tomorrow. And I do want to share you have a charger or something?
Wait, you froze.
I froze?
Yeah.
I froze.
Not froze. No, I'm saying you were just froze. I didn't hear what you said. It just said.
Am I still frozen?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm not frozen. All right. So I just want to share this with. This is basically a poem that was written that I wrote, and I wanted to share to salute our bravery military, to let them know how much we appreciate them. Um, Salute to the brave. A moment of silence. Hats off. Stand tall. Memorial Day, this one's for you all. Not just a day of barbecue and sun, but to honor the brave, each daughter and son. They lace up boots, answer the call, gave up their peace so we can have it all. Freedom ain't free, that's real, not a phrase. It's written in blood through history's haze. So we lift up our hearts, not just for the flag, grateful for those who carried the bag. To every soul who fought the fight, we see you, we thank you, we hold you tight. Forever remembered, forever respected. You're never forgotten, you're deeply connected. From Mama Said It. Thank you all for serving. Now, as we end our segment, I definitely want to share something with everyone that I'm hoping it's going to
I'm here.
Oh,
I
okay.
had to get on my phone.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to share something with everyone that I'm hoping is going to help you on your journey, whether you're working, whether if you're not working, you're drawing unemployment. I want to share some information that I think that's going to be helpful in your life. Harvard University, or Harvard Business School, which is a part of Harvard University, for those of you who don't know, they have free courses. Okay, free courses. Now, I know many of you may have heard, and we're going to talk about this next week. Harvard University is now in court. They're preparing for court against the current administration, which is huge, right? Which is huge. There's a lot of things that are going on there. And we definitely want to discuss it and talk about it and learn from it and see exactly how we can, if not be a part of it, but see what could we take from it all. I think that's the golden rule.
Yes.
But I want to share with you some of the courses here. So if you go to harvardbusinessschool.edu, I'll also post the information inside of the chat. These are some of the courses that you can take. Understanding the problems of capital markets. These courses are free. Investing in private equity. Impact weight accounts. I mean, leadership. You have leadership courses. Resilient leadership. Negotiating salary. Designing organization structure. So some of these courses can help you to add more onto your resume. You can add more onto your resume. So think about that. They got business in society. Okay, we're going to post this. You'll have this. Hopefully, this will be helpful to you as you go through your journey. I know there's a few topics that we are not going to be able to discuss because we're running out of time. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. But I want to make sure that all of you know that we definitely appreciate you for being a part of Mama Said It podcast as we continue to try to bring you value. Our goal is to bring you value. Shakira, do you have any ending statements?
No, just everybody have a wonderful and blessed week. Enjoy your holiday weekend. If you're off tomorrow, enjoy yourself. And we will see you guys next week.
Absolutely. We will see you next week. Oh, that's wonderful. Any special plans tomorrow?
No.
Resting.
Yeah, the kids will be home. No, I don't have any plans. There's no school.
No
So,
school.
yeah.
Absolutely no school. Okay, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. Mama said it. Woo. There'll be days like this. Mama said it. Woo. There'll be days like this. Mama said it. Woo. Thank you all for joining. Have a good week. God bless.